Hello everyone. So I thought I'd make a video about what to do when you get into overwhelm. Because so many times that's just what happens, We get these ideas and then we try to think of the bigger picture, and then we try to think of everything we need to do to create that bigger picture and all that stuff. And a lot of times with human beings, when they go into overwhelm, which is too much information, the body shuts down, the mind shuts down, and just like that's why a lot of people give up. And it's a better approach to take things in bite-sized pieces. Like you can't eat a whole tray in one bite, right? It's one bite at a time. And I always encourage my clients to start from where they're at. Sure, have an idea of the bigger view, but that also changes along the way. Every step we take, we're going to get a different perspective. We're going to gain insight about ourselves. We're going to gain insight about what we really want. We're going to have clarity. We're going to have contrast. We're going to have all these experiences along the way. And the best suggestion I can give to anybody is just to stay in the moment. And just to really appreciate what's over here today. Like right now I'm making this video, so just to find the passion, the joy in making this video. In a little bit I'm going to go make some lunch and then find some passion and joy in making that lunch. And then whatever I'm doing to find some passion and enjoying it, and to kind of not control the mind, but just notice when the mind goes into the future too much, and just kind of reel it back and just say, okay, mind, I understand that you get a little bit anxious and you want to know what's going to happen, because that's all it is. It's just a little anxiety of wanting to know what's going to happen, but really we don't know what's going to happen. We only know what's going to happen right now in this moment as we take the next step, and as we take the next step, because circumstances, there's things that happen in life. There's so many things that we say we want today, but tomorrow we may change. We may not even want that anymore. And a lot of times, we set goals and we want to stay true to that goal, and we want to continue to see it unfold. And it's beautiful when you have that, but also give yourself the grace to allow yourself to change it if you don't want it. Because a lot of times we're making goals from our conditioning. A lot of times we're making goals from who we think we should be in order to be happy. A lot of times we're making goals because we see everybody else doing it, and we think like if we do it, then we'll be a better person because they're happy, or we perceive them to be happy. We don't really know what's going on behind the scenes. A lot of people, put up a facade, especially on social media, but it's not about them. It's about what's going on inside of us. It's about really honoring ourselves, honoring our truths, honoring what makes our souls happy. I have this new thing right now that before I do anything, I stop and I check in, will this make my soul happy? Now, sometimes, things may scare me, and that's okay. So I make sure it's just not a part of me that's just scared of something new, or scared of being criticized or judged or whatever, and I work with that part. But most often, if we're following the joy of our soul, we live a more fulfilling and quote purposeful life. If we're following the joy of our soul, we're actually living in integrity. We're living in alignment with who we be. A lot of people are searching alignment with a higher vibration. To me, alignment means just finding inner peace, finding a relaxed state of being able just to appreciate the moment. That's what alignment means for me. So many times we read all these things and we follow these techniques, and we think that if I follow this technique, I'll get to here, and we're not listening within. We're too caught up in our mind. We're too caught up in trying to figure everything out. And that's what actually creates fear and doubt. That's what creates overwhelm. That's what creates, all these things. You know how people get hypnotized? People get hypnotized by too much information. And there's once that happens, the conscious thinking mind and the subconscious opens up, and then we get all these things going into our subconscious. We're taking in bits of pieces of information all the time, but the mind can only focus on one thing at a time. And in overload is when the conscious thinking mind checks out, and then our subconscious opens, and we're taking in all these suggestions from other people. When you get on Facebook, it's totally hypnotic. They have something going on over here, something going on here, Facebook Lives here. It's purposeful. It's purposeful because that's how they control the subconscious mind. We can't really be as present as we want to be with too much information coming in. And that's why it's so important to take time. I start out your day that way. I encourage it, but if you can't start out your day that way, find sometime during the day to just be with yourself, to check in with your heart and soul. ask yourself, ask your heart and soul, am I really living the life that my essence chooses? Or am I living in my life in my conditioning when everybody else told me I should be, what I think I should be doing in order to achieve my heartfelt dreams and all that's okay. Follow that if it's truly a heartfelt dream. Make sure it's truly a heartfelt dream, right? So, I mean, there's going to be a lot of discernment going on there because we're so identified with our conditioning. We're so identified with our thoughts of who we think we be. We're so identified with all these beliefs and everything else. And that's why change isn't so easy, but change is easier when we let go of being identified with this person that has all these rules on how life should be, and we just flow with our soul's loving energy. So when you get into overwhelm next time, just kind of take a deep breath, come back to yourself, just kind of go within, just like, okay, that's a lot of information for me right now. What do I want to focus on within this information that I just learned or I just, received or whatever? Because there's a lot of how-to videos on YouTube and things like that. Even when you read a book, I used to just read the book and get through it because I wanted to feel like I accomplished something. But now when I read a book, I usually just read 1, 2, or 3 pages. And then I put it down and I allow myself to absorb what I read. I'll do some writing around it, especially if there's processes in there. Just continuously taking in information can also put us in overwhelm, and then we don't even do anything with that information. Things happen by taking action, right? So, but where are we taking action from? Are we taking it from fear or joy and love? And that we only know within when we feel into our energy body. And that's why it's so important to be, quote, sensitive to how we're feeling within. Check within. I do it every hour. I stop and I check within and I ask, myself, my heart and soul is like, am I doing what makes me truly happy? And I invite you to do the same, because this is like, life is short. We think it's like, oh yeah, we kind of take each day for granted, but as you're seeing right now in the world, none of us know. None of us know what's happening. None of us know what will happen tomorrow. None of us know anything. Right now is all there is. And I invite you to really take that time right now to appreciate, what's here, make a gratitude list of everything that's great in your life today and really get yourself into that grateful mode, because even in challenging situations, even if we're going through a challenge, which I invite you to really be gentle with yourself if you are, but also to acknowledge that there's also good things that are happening too. Not to deny the challenge, to work with that part of you that's experiencing the challenge, and don't say, oh, just get over it and move on, but to work with that part, because there's a solution in that challenge. The challenge is there for a reason. It's to help us learn, it's to help us grow, it's to help us to be more loving, kind, and gentle with ourselves and another person if they're involved. There's so many great opportunities and challenges. And many times challenges turn into blessings. But like from a higher perspective, it's all just an experience. So if we took away the labels of challenge and blessing and all that, we just called it an experience, allow ourselves to be with whatever is happening. I know for me, this has helped me to move through my journey more easily. So I invite you to consider that perspective, and hopefully it'll help you move through your journey more easily too. So I hope this video inspired you in 5, 10, 15, 20 ways or another. Feel free to reach out for support if you like support on your journey. I know you can do this if you choose. I believe in you and I love